We are back here on Real Talk with Luana, and we were just talking about love. You know, there is a very big scripture about love thy neighbor as if you love yourself. But we fail at that.
Yes.
A lot. A lot, right?
Hmm.
Um, there's no, you know what, even we're talking about this, there's no compassion. I don't feel like there's a lot of compassion in the world. I feel like we just nitpick at every single thing. And one of the things that you said that really got to me is how you said got held to this higher expectation, and I can relate to that a lot. And sometimes when you get held to such this higher expectation, you end up being very rebellious about, you know, I don't want to live this no more. You know, even as a Christian, whatever the case may be, I just did an event called at the Peace Fest, and I actually noticed something very different. And everybody keeps shunning me on what I noticed, but I'm gonna bring it up. I noticed about the Muslims, and I noticed how much they came together, and I noticed the respect that they had. I never seen anything like it where it was like Sister Luana, Sister Luana. It wasn't like, oh, hey, I want to come and holla at you. It was, hi, Sister Luana, you know, shake your hand. It was a lot of respect. And even in the Christian community, I don't see that a lot. I see men coming into the church trying to find their wife so that they know that this woman's going to be faithful or whatever the case may be. But you don't see a lot of that respect or even that love, you know, picking your brother, picking your sister up. You know, if your brother and sister is down, you're not helping them.
And just a precursor, I know every church is not like that, like she's like, but I have seen that, and that just goes back to our how we our definition of love. Some people think of love as an emotion. Emotions change. You're not angry all the time. You're not happy all the time. You're not sad all the time. So what makes you which makes you think that if you think love is an emotion that you're gonna love somebody at all times?
Ooh.
You're not. You're
Okay,
not.
preach, 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 preach. Hold on. Get it, get
Love
it.
in my definition of love is an action word. Love requires some action on your part,
Yes.
even when it doesn't make any sense, even when you don't feel like it, to make that effort to love somebody, that makes it an action, and it also makes it a choice. You choose to love. And you were talking about the respect that you felt in a certain demographic or a certain event that you went to, and I believe it's because they made that choice. They made that choice to be
But why don't
respected.
we make that choice? Because we don't. I mean, there's a lot of times we're not making that choice. We're not making that choice to see. I was talking to somebody, and I was telling them, instead of looking at the action, look at why the action happened, and deal with why the action happened, and then move past the action. But see, we don't want to do that. We want to look at the action and say, hey, you did this, 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 and now I'm not going to love you anymore because you did all these things to me. Instead of looking at why is that happening and figuring out why and then coming up with a solution. We don't do that as a people. So, you know, and I believe in accountability. Don't get me wrong. I believe that you got to be accountable for your actions. But I believe that you need to figure out why are you doing this action and fix the action, but you need people to love you despite of. Because if they don't love you through your worst, you're never going to make it to your best.
And as a minister, something that you said, that why are we doing an action? Some of our actions are based on needs. Most of our actions are based on needs, and a lot of people have different needs. Even negative actions are based on some type of need. You have, you mentioned, somebody coming to a church to holler at a young lady or something like that. Well, I can look at their situation and empathize. Okay, I have a need. I want a nice young lady in my life.
I don't want one of these hood
Yeah,
rats.
ratchet. I want somebody nice with some morals and some respect about themselves. So there is a need in that area, and just to kind of flip it, this is real talk, right? Just to
Real
kinda,
talk.
this is kind of flip it. I see a lot of ladies, in different churches and things like that, and they seem to get offended by that. Why are you coming to church, to do that? Well, there's always two sides to every story, and
Three.
yeah,
There's your
yours.
side, mine, and the truth.
I like that. I like that. I like that. But and to be able to look at the situation from somebody else's perspective. With that said, there's always a good way to do something or a respectful way to go about doing something. So, and that requires teaching. There's a scripture that says we perish because of a lack of knowledge. People perish for a lack of
Yep.
knowledge. You know, some things aren't taught. You know.
But
Some-
then, but wait. See, this is good. This is good. Okay.
All
You're getting somewhere.
All right.
I'm liking this part of the brand coming out.
All right.
Some people don't have the tools and they're not taught.
Mhm.
And then we put them to this expectation where we're looking for them to know the same things that we know. And then when they fail on not knowing those things, we hold them accountable and then we get upset because they don't know them.
And that all goes back to selfishness. When we're selfish, we don't sympathize. When we're selfish, we don't empathize. It's all about my perspective and what I think is supposed to be happening here right now. What I think about this situation, my perspective is all about my perspective. And when you're selfish, you never can look at somebody else's perspective. When you're selfish, you can never see from somebody else's point of view. It's all about your point of view. But you know what? I've used this analogy. You know, I can see your face, but I can't see the back of your head right now. You know, how can I say that I know everything about your head because I can't even see the back of your head right now? You know, there's some angles that I cannot see, and we're limited in our perspective. And only way we'll get the whole perspective is if we get everybody together and communicate. Don't leave God out of the picture because He has the whole perspective.
Yep.
But for us to come together and communicate, and you can't communicate when you're selfish.
Woo! Woo! He's killing it. He's killing it. He said you can't communicate when you're selfish. Okay, so we have another commercial break that's about to come up. And then what we're going to do is we are going to really dig deep into what is happening with Desert's Best. Okay, we have vendor tables. If very few still available. If they're interested in sponsoring, we're also looking in the process of doing almost a red carpet thing. So we have a lot going on that day. So they can get so much. And then there's also a bus that comes, so it's a $60 round trip. So we want to talk about all this stuff because we want people to show up. This is bigger than me and you standing here. There's a bigger purpose when it comes down to what we're doing here, because what we're doing here, it's not about one person, but you ultimately, it's about connecting people. It's about a movement. It's about, you know, I'm pretty sure you're going to even have it where, you know, you never know if somebody gets ministered to there.
Exactly. I mean, there's room for anything to happen. We want to surprise. We want to excite. We want something to be spectacular. We want it to be amazing. And that element of the unknown, we're leaving it up. You're going to have to come out and see. You're going to have to experience it yourself. You know, we're going to have video clips, but it's not going to be like being out there live.
Yeah, we actually have Broken Door Media that's going to be out there. So, you know, they're definitely going to be doing some big things out there.
Exactly. Shout out to Cassidy and Broken Door Media. They're going to come out and they're going to be doing their thing. I'm expecting great things from the post-production. And stay tuned for more.
Okay, so we're going to be right back here on Real Talk with Lauren.